That's called the
Recording in progress.
that's called December 2nd special meeting to order. Since a special meeting, we don't have public comment, but we do have. Oh, we don't have pledge of allegiance either, so we just go directly. Let's go roll call, please.
Councilmember Fruin,
Here.
Councilmember Mohan,
Here.
Councilmember Wong,
Here.
Vice Mayor Moore,
Here.
Mayor Chow.
Here.
And Mayor, just a reminder that Councilmember Wong is participating remotely this evening, and so I will request roll call votes for any council actions. And additionally, Councilmember Wong, I will rely on you to indicate whether or not there are any members of the public requesting to speak remotely from that teleconference location.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you. So, do we have a staff report, or I will just introduce the item? Okay. So, actually, I prepared a presentation, but then my computer is still waking up. So, Plan Bay Area 2050, it's a plan that the Bay Area, the MTC and Bay Area government that they are designing almost every 10 years. The previous version is Plan Bay Area 2040 that was adopted, I think, around 2013-14. And then we are working on they are working on Plan Bay Area 2050. The growth projection in this kind of plan eventually would be used to go into the growth projection for our RENA numbers, which would become a target that the city must meet for our housing element.
Mayor,
Therefore,
I apologize. There is a council staff report on this item in the packet.
I know there is a staff report, but I know that staff is probably not prepared to present it. That's fine. And therefore, it's important, I think, for the city to express our comment on the item because it will, the plan will impact the city in various ways. I have a presentation prepared. I will bring that up and present when I'm ready. But now I think any council member, if you have questions, we can go to them or we can go to public comment first. Yeah. Councilmember Fruin.
I just have a quick comment because it sounded like you said that you were saying that the previous plan was Plan Bay Area 2040 and that this is now going to be Plan Bay Area 2050. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't think that that's correct. Plan Bay Area 2050 was adopted in 2021. What we're working on right now is Plan Bay Area 2050 plus.
Oh, yeah,
which
that's
builds
right.
on what already exists under Plan Bay Area 2050.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, thank you for that background. So there is an already adopted plan, Plan Bay Area 2050. Okay. And any other comments?
Yeah, I would say that I'm extremely concerned with these plans because what they
We
try
cannot
to do.
hear you well.
Let me see what I can do here. Yeah.
Your voice is very low.
How's that? Is that better?
A little better.
How's that? Is that better?
Okay, yeah, that's better.
Okay, let's see if that makes change. So yeah, I'm very concerned with these plans. They try to take a Marxist approach to planning, and basically what they're trying to do is force Soviet-style kind of centralized planning into our areas without elected votes and elected officials. Every time we do these, from MTA to ABAG to all these, localities and local control gets crushed. So I really do hope we actually do something in on this. Especially when you look at the transit plan for 2050 plus that they're trying to add to. I mean, it's ridiculous. We've wasted billions of dollars on light rail, billions of dollars on transit projects that don't work. I mean, I just did the drive from LA to San Fran to LA, and it would have helped to have another lane on I-5 instead of wait for a boondoggle of a high-speed rail. I mean, that's exactly where these plans are going. They continue to waste our taxpayer dollars. They continue to waste our efforts. I'm really angry when I see these plans. I feel like Jennifer Griffin when I think about these plans, because they take away our local control and they do everything they can to force a certain way of life on people. And it's not necessarily what the mass majority wants. They just don't know about it and they don't private input. So I really hope we spend a lot of time gathering input from our residents so that they actually don't become a minority voice in terms of what happens to them. So I'm in complete agreement with you, and I can't wait to see your presentation.
Okay, so I'm ready now. Maybe I should just go to my presentation, and then we can go to public comment. Wait, so I need to do slideshow. I'm used to have two screens now. With one screen, I'm not very sure how do I do slideshare, so I'll just have to. Okay, so sorry that it's probably not the most ideal. Get this. I want to maximize the area. Okay, hope that's better. So what is Plan Bay Area 2050 plus? It's built on top of, like Councilmember Flynn mentioned, the prior long-range plan contributed to the very high RENA number we see today. As a result, Cupertino have to upzone many housing element sites to meet almost 5,000 units planning to be built in the next 8 years, but the city doesn't build. And then there is also the environmental impact report that we can comment on. So I want to point out what's the impact of this kind of demand on paper. When we inflate growth forecast, the developers will not build the units since there is no real market demand. And the population actually have stayed flat since 2020. And since we upzoned so many sites, but as a result, as we have seen, developers are willing to build only townhomes. It doesn't matter if we upzone to 4 stories, 6 stories, they only want to build townhomes. So, but the state will still hold the city accountable for not building or approving those units that they put on paper. So there is a huge impact on the city. We might face our housing element will be out of compliance. Builders remedy will have more builders remedy project, and most of the project would be streamlined for by right approval without CEQA review, and we lose leverage for a lot of grants. Bottom line, there is a huge legal risk for the city when such growth projection is unrealistic. And why is this one unrealistic? The projected population for the Bay Area is 9.6 million. It's almost 4 times more than the projected population growth by Department of Finance. That's the DOF. And and then also that the projection is based on a 2021 pre-pandemic baseline that was built in 21, and ignoring the fact that the population has dropped in Bay Area since 2020. But it's just assuming everything just will keep growing at a very fast pace, and it uses a non-standard jobs first economic model rather than to reverse engineer the numbers rather than using the normal demographic projection model based on current number, birth rate, death rate, and so on. So these papered events drive up the RENA number, and it does not take into account of the potential of AI to consolidate jobs. We might see less number of jobs and remote work, which actually have already enabled many people to move out of Bay Area or even out of the state. And then it evaluated a lot of impacts in the environmental impact report. For majority of them, the consequences is significant and unavoidable. However, it goes down to ignore that since there's nothing we can do. And the most important for wildfire and evacuation route, some of the growth area will be near or areas that's already condensed corridors. And how will people be able to evacuate? There is the impact report assumes something will magically happen and funding would magically appear. And so that we can mitigate these impacts, we can mitigate the sea level rise flood risk for those impacted area. And other risks that's being evaluated that's significant and unavoidable are utilities and solid waste capacity. As we keep growing, where are we going to? We would produce more wastewater, more solid waste, and the impact on fire, police, hospitals are significant and unavoidable. Environmental and health hazards are SU also, and many of these the mitigation rely on uncertain future funding, and many of the place is relying on developer impact fee, which the state actually have passed law and will continue to pass law to limit the city's ability to collect those fees to mitigate any of this impact. In addition to that, Plan Bay Area itself actually recognized in their notice of preparation for the EIR that the plan would require new revenue source of $862 billion. And divided by population, that's about $100,000 per person in the Bay Area. And where are we going to come up with this money per person? And whether it comes from the state or federal dollars, it all comes from taxes for all of us. They are not very clear on that. These two slides are borrowed from another presentation, so this is about the new revenue source is unreliable. So what the Cupertino, I think it's important we write this letter to ABAC and MTC to make sure that they should align the growth assumption with realistic Department of Finance forecasts so that we have a credible, realistic, reduced growth scenario, and make sure that the wildfire evacuation, flood, and other infrastructure mitigation is enforceable and performance-based, not just advisory, and assume it magically will happen. And then we should have realistic analysis of the capacity for public utilities like hospitals and ambulance. And be clear that who will pay the cost to expand them. And then clearly disclose the funding gaps. So I drafted a letter that's in the agenda. I don't think I included all of the point. I was trying to be short, but most of it is mentioned in the letter. But anyone from the public can comment. You can go to the Planned Bay Area site to submit your comment by December 18th, 5 p.m. And there are two hybrid public hearings that you can still attend, comment on at those meetings. Also, the Zoom meeting will be on the draft ERR site. Thank you. Okay. Okay, I'll stop share. Okay, should we go to public comment? Yeah, okay. It's public comment.
Yes, Mayor, I currently have one request to speak from within Community Hall. I see no request to speak virtually. Anyone wishing to provide comments, please submit your comments now. Our first speaker is Jennifer Griffin. Welcome, Jennifer.
Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, I'm Jennifer Griffin. Thank you for having this meeting. I know it was a little last moment, but I have attended 3 one-hour Zoom meetings on Plan Bay Area with Catalyst for Local Control, which is a group that I belong to. And I will tell you that they were all extremely concerned, upset, emotionally distraught about what these documents have in them. There was a gentleman who is a very well-known retired state official. He called this plan lunacy. And the other gentleman that first spoke about it, there were 2 of them 3 weeks ago on the Zoom, and they were both shaking in anger and frustration. And many of these people in this group have gone to at least one of there were only 3 public meetings in very inconvenient areas. This is for all of the Bay Area. They were in Fremont. I believe one is in Milpitas, and the other one I think is near Marin, not Marin, but up closer to San Francisco. Plan Bay Area has been on my radar for quite a while. I've been concerned about whatever their agenda was. If you weren't aware, MTC took over ABAG about maybe 7 years ago. And one of the main problems with these documents is that they did not use the required data that the state requires for population statistic analysis in the future. And this was shown several times. They are required by law as a California entity to use current census and data that is required by law. They created their own documents, and therefore they are saying that the population growth by 2050 will be 26%. It is calculated to be only 6.5%. Now, I wasn't the greatest science student, but I have been taught the scientific method over and over again. You do not invent data. This group has committed one of the biggest frauds against the state because they are using data that is not true. They're trying to fool the public. This is illegal. It's against the law. And I don't know why our state did not recognize this before these documents were thrown to us, the public, to try to say, no, it's wrong. Don't do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And we have one member of the public who has to speak virtually, Louise Sadati. Welcome, Louise.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. So I just have a few short comments. I think that that we can discuss that document over and over, but I think it's very important to keep in mind that we need to stay compliant with the housing element and the requirements by HCD, because if we fall short of keeping our units of what is required in the next 6 months, we could be subject to the builder's remedy. So that is the big issue here, not to get too distracted by fixing this or that or all that, and something is unfair and all that. The reality is we don't want a builder's remedy. So we need to be focused as a city to make sure that the housing units that we have coming up will meet what is required for us not to have a builder's remedy. Number two, I am younger than Councilman Ray Wang, and he was saying very impassioned that we should just get rid of any transportation and just put in an extra lane, and that is what his wish is. And I beg to differ, because in my history on this planet, when we put 85, that was supposed to decrease traffic, and it did not. The traffic lanes just filled up. And even if you throw an extra lane in, like Councilman Wong said, it doesn't really solve the problem, because you end up with, you can end up with 6 lanes of traffic like you do in Los Angeles area, and they're all bumper to bumper and parking lots. So extra lane mentality is not the solution. I have been in cities where they do have transit. Yes, it's difficult to make happen, but it's wonderful when you have a successful transit. So just because something is difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't try it. And it's been very successful in many cities. So there you have it. My 2 short comments on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Louise. And Mayor, no additional requests to speak on this item?
Thank you. And I'd like to add one more point I forgot to mention. As I mentioned, the job count for 2050 is artificially determined, an inflated number, but the projected population in 2050 will be 3 times of the number of jobs, which is make the population number even more unrealistic. And as we have seen yesterday, we are being warned by Councilmember Fruin that if we don't identify more housing element sites, because many 5 sites at least so far on Stevens Creek we upzoned, but they are only building townhomes, then we will be required to meet compliance with the state. We might be required to upzone more sites because we have to hit the artificial number given to us. And this plan will make that number even higher, which means we will have more builders remedy project or more project that will be by right approval, and makes it even more important we submit a comment letter so that we don't do it after the fact. Thank you. Councilmember Fruin.
So I just wanted to clarify a few points and make sure that I'm understanding some of your statements correctly. On which Plan Bay Area are you asserting that the RENA figures are based?
I think the current RENA figure is based on the Plan Bay Area 2040.
No, it's based on Plan Bay Area 2050, which is already in effect.
The current is based on 2050.
It's based on 2050.
No wonder. So
And
it's
what MTC ABAG would do right now actually revises the figures downward in Plan Bay Area 2050 plus. So I think that that's an important thing to keep in mind. Mm-hmm. The second that I want to understand is I'm not really following your line of reasoning on the question of the the builder's remedy or other penalties that you're asserting, because all that we have to do under housing element law is maintain a certified housing element. That just means that we have to plan for the housing. It doesn't mean that it has to be built.
But if we plan and they are not built, we are punished.
No, we're not.
Because
By what? By what are we punished?
Because they are By law, the housing element law, HCD every year would evaluate how much we are developing according to the target number. If we don't meet the performance, SB 35 would require any project with 50% housing can be streamlined. And if we don't perform even worse, any project with 10% below market rate will be
And
streamlined.
that streamlining is no different from applying under the Housing Accountability Act.
Yeah. So we are,
So that's not a penalty.
if there is no penalty, we don't have to rezone sites next year.
No, if we.
So
if
why
we-
are you
no,
so
no,
concerned
no,
about
there is a
we have to
penalty.
upzone sites?
There is a penalty if you wind up having insufficient zoned capacity, because then you don't have a housing element that is compliant. If you don't have a housing element that is compliant, then the builder's remedy applies.
Yeah, but we have to upzone because the projected growth is much more than our capacity. So we were forced to upzone to meet so-called paper capacity.
Yes.
Yes.
But what
so that's
relevance
why
is
we
that?
need to object to that.
I don't see the logic in that. The number is coming down.
But the environmental impact is real. That
Sure. No, I agree. I agree
Yeah.
that there is value in making a comment. I just don't agree that there's value in fighting about the question of the growth projection. That ship has sailed.
No, I think if we argue about the growth projection, the state should then adjust it down significantly so that we can adjust our housing element numbers down significantly to meet the realistic capacity.
Why would we adjust them downward?
Because there is never going to be the population that will need this housing.
Yeah, I don't think that's true at all.
They are asking us to plan for units that developers are not going to build because there is no market demand.
Yeah, right now,
You pay
because the
for
market
it.
is different from what it used to be.
It is
I mean,
different.
I would be
because our
fine.
job
I
will
would be fine with a
different.
letter. I'd be perfectly fine with a letter that requests, even demands, that MTC ABAG justify the figures that they are describing. I don't think that we should be so prescriptive as to ask for them to change them to DOF numbers on an issue that has already been lost.
I think an issue is never lost if all the cities step up to request.
Yeah, I don't think
We
that's going to
use
happen.
realistic numbers. So, Councilmember Wang and then Vice Mayor.
I actually think it's important to fight these numbers and these assumptions, even if they were lost. I mean, the huge financial impact to every city, the wasted amount of taxpayer dollars on studies after studies, filing housing element requirements, all this stuff because we have wrong numbers and we didn't readjust those numbers and we built for a problem that actually is not here. And that's part of planning. But if you're that far off in terms of projections, that's a huge issue. And so if we're taking projections, and yes, they're going to be revised a little bit down for 2050, if we don't revise them to an accuracy or an accurate level, then everybody's wasting time. The number of consultants that have grifted on this is ridiculous. This has been the issue with all these kind of massive centralized plans. They basically go out, consultants make a ton of money, cities lose their money, and everybody drives down the quality of life. This has been consistent for the last 20 years of these planning cycles. And so it is imperative for us to actually write something. I agree that maybe the numbers are coming down, but they better be using accurate numbers, and they can't continue to impart this type of, I'd say, authoritarian, lack of democratic approach to actual planning, where we really don't have a say. They force it using quasi-governmental entities that have no democratic process on top of us. And so let's at least demand that they use accurate numbers. If they don't use accurate numbers, they revise those numbers and revise our projections down as those numbers come down. Because they've been working with false numbers since the beginning, and we've suffered as a result of that.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor, for digging into the draft plan Bay Area 2050 Plus and the draft EIR. And I do appreciate your letter. I don't know if it has been all entirely fact-checked by city staff, but I would appreciate if that would happen. as to the zoning changes, my concern there is that when we increase the zoning and the density, it helps with the value of the land. It increases the value of the land such that we have individuals who are making a living off of getting projects entitled with this increased density and then selling off the project. So I did also send a letter today, and I'll share my screen. And I focused in on, and this was on representing myself only, and I focused in on the EIR specifically and whether or not it is an adequate EIR. So it's in the written communications. I'll kind of scroll through here. There's several different issues. One, I think in particular, is the growth-inducing impact analysis and alternatives to project. So I'll stop sharing screen. So it is in the written communications if someone's interested in that. So I sent it on, like I said, representing myself only. And once again, I do really appreciate you going to the trouble of looking through the entire Plan Bay area and the draft EIR for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you submit your letter to the public comment, written comment?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Councilmember Mohan, and then I think Councilmember Fruin, you still want to comment?
Thank you, Mayor. I had two questions, and one for Councilmember Fruin. When you said that this boat has sailed, or the ship has sailed, what were you referring to?
Basically, this is the projection that was already used for Plan Bay Area 2050. So I don't know why we would be trying to revisit that. That's already etched in stone.
So are you saying this Bay Area 2050 plus will have no impact on our RENA numbers?
No.
For now?
Not until the next cycle.
Which is 2031.
Yes. And that will go through a whole different set of methodology. That will go through ABAG's process. There's a whole lot of other stuff that happens between now and then. In addition, like I said, this fight essentially already occurred over which exact set of figures should be used when Plan Bay Area 2050 was on the table. And this is the direction that MTC ABAG went.
And that was my other question, Mayor. Is this the only document that is used as the basis for RENA numbers? I'm assuming no.
There is a methodology that is used to allocate. So it's not just a top-line figure. There is a methodology that is used to allocate between different cities as to how much they're required to plan for. Again, it's a planning mandate. It's not a building mandate.
It housing element was originally intended as a planning mandate, but unfortunately, recent state laws has added a lot of enforcement measures that have made it a building mandate because the cities get punished left and right.
In what way are
If,
they punished?
the
We just
units are
established the
not
only
built.
punishment you could articulate was a provision of SB 35, which is substantially the same as bringing an application right now under the Housing Accountability Act. The only
Punished
difference is
in taking
who has
away
a
our
hearing.
right to approve projects and forcing us to upzone lands, so the land prices are more expensive. Housing
Yeah, I
actually
think
gets
that's a
more
misunderstanding
expensive.
of economics.
And I don't think that any ship is sailed. Ever since I got involved with the city, everyone says the Valco is sailed. But then I think as in a democracy, we should never assume anything is set in stone. We continue to advocate, and we hope that state and MTC will eventually come to realize the reality that these numbers actually drive up housing prices rather than down.
Yeah, I don't accept that view, and if that's what's motivating this, then I won't be signing on. I will certainly send a letter of my own because I think that you have articulated some things in here that I think are very useful in terms of environmental impacts, and they're worth examining.
Okay, so it's 6:39. What? So
Mayor, you
could
make-
make a quick comment.
Council Member Wang.
Mayor, are you making a motion?
Okay, I'll make the motion to submit the letter that's authorize the mayor to submit the letter that's in the agenda packet.
Oh, happy to second.
Councilmember Mohan, you have a comment.
Yeah, I wanted to make a quick comment about the ending of for your letter. Can we make it more open-ended and say we'd like to, we're asking MTC to explain the numbers to us, as opposed to just sort of shutting the door and saying we don't agree with you?
I
What
don't
is the
think
what is the basis for these numbers for both MTC and
So
ABAC?
the process with the draft EIR is we submit comment. They will, in the final EIR, there will be a section where they answer each of the question people raised. That's how they communicate with the city or anyone. So there is not shutting the door or not. This is just a comment letter.
Okay, I'm not sure I agree with the ending, but I'm hearing what
do you
you're
mean
saying.
by ending?
I would like you to request
How would you like to
organization
rephrase it? Could you suggest
to
some
protect,
word?
to protect public safety, ensure infrastructure, and maintain fiscal roads. We would like the City Council of Cupertino would like an explanation from MTC and ABAG on the discrepancy in the numbers that we are.
I think that's
see.
even, it's not possible they will respond to us directly, though. So I'm happy to just I mean, it's probably unrealistic to expect them to respond to us.
No, but the point is that we've made our point.
Yeah. Should we say just consider to revise? So it's not very.
I would be,
Councilman, Vice Mayor.
I'd be open to that friendly amendment, but go ahead.
Yeah. So it's softer. Consider to revise, Vice Mayor.
I think the closing paragraph is adequate, but like, as I said earlier, I would want to make sure that this has been fact-checked before it goes out by staff, and that would be my only change. And I hope that some of the comments that I sent in get reviewed as well regarding the efficacy of this particular draft EIR. And it is my understanding that you do need to get in all of your questions and concerns on an EIR during the comment period. They will take some late comments sometimes, but that we do need to be pretty comprehensive about what we're taking issue with. And yeah, thank you.
So you would like the staff to fact check it, but I would accept that we just soften the language to consider to revise, because really this is just a comment. They can do whatever they want. So
Well, through
would
the
that be
chair.
acceptable? Yeah.
If you are taking issue with certain things with regards to the EIR, it's not to consider to revise. They need to go and check if they're correct or not, and then it's not. It isn't optional. If there is a problem, then they're leaving the door open for a challenge. So I mean, you can soften the language, I guess,
Revise
but be careful.
accordingly means revise if they agree with the issue. And if they don't agree, they don't have to revise. I
Well,
think
that's
what
up to
Vice
them,
Mayor
right? If
think.
they don't
Yeah,
agree, they won't
of course,
they
yeah.
won't revise.
But if they
But-
agree, then that means legally they have to revise.
Well, I'm not sure what they will agree to, but I think from our side, we need an explanation as to why these numbers came out the way it did. So I'm not sure we want them to agree as much as to explain.
So,
Through the mayor.
Vice Mayor?
Well, in the section where you are discussing those numbers, you can put in a sentence that says that, but I think your closing is fine. It's not.
So you would like the explanation. Okay, I think that makes sense. I'm actually thinking that we, instead of just submitting to the comments, we should send this directly to the NTC ABAG committee members. I think that's more reasonable. When we send to the members who are representing us, we can ask them for an explanation. So maybe we add that and ask for an explanation for the numbers. Would that be acceptable?
If that's the process.
Okay. So we submit the comment letter, but then to the public comment portal, but we also submit the letter with the request for an explanation to the MTCA ABAG leadership. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Point of order. Do we need a friendly amendment from Council Member Mohan?
So would you accept the friendly amendment? So the motion now includes a letter to MTC ABAG leadership to request an explanation of the growth numbers. Do you accept it?
I will, but are we adding Councilmember Mohan's as well?
We are accepting Councilmember Mohan and the friendly amendment from Vice Mayor to have the staff vet the correctness.
I accept.
And any specific thing from your letter you would like to include? No? Okay. Okay, yeah, it's 6:46. Councilmember Fruin, any comment?
Yeah, I just want to understand exactly what it is that is being changed in the letter.
So we are not changing anything in the letter, but then we are sending the letter to the MTC ABAG leadership. And in that cover letter with this attachment, we will ask for an explanation of the growth strategy. Because I think that's more appropriate for communication.
Okay, so you're talking about another letter that goes on
To
top
the
of this?
MTC ABAG leadership.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't it be just simpler just to change the draft that you have?
I think it's harder to change the draft right now because the draft letter is meant to be sent for the written comment for EIR. That they don't respond to people individually for that. They'll just integrate answers in a final draft. So it's moot point to even ask for an explanation here. Yeah.
Okay, in the interest of time,
Yeah.
I will.
I think it's better from local government to MTC ABAG. We ask for an explanation. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Okay.
And Mayor, in your reiteration of the motion, I think you didn't include the fact that staff would fact check before it was delivered.
Yeah, I did mention that, Council. Yeah, thank you for confirming that. So, are we ready to vote? Okay, let's vote.
Councilmember Fruin,
Abstain.
Councilmember Mohan,
Yes.
Councilmember Wong,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Chow.
Yes.
The motion carries with Fruin abstaining.
Okay, thank you. Now we would go directly to the regular meeting. So I'd like to call the regular meeting of December 2nd to order, and let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Fruin,
Here.
Councilmember Mohan,
Yes.
Councilmember Wong,
Here.
Vice Mayor Moore,
Present.
Mayor Chow.
Here.
And Mayor, another reminder that Councilmember Wong is participating remotely this evening, and I will request roll call votes for all council actions. Additionally, Councilmember Wong, I will rely on you to notify us of any members of the public wishing to provide comments from your location. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, any closed session report?
There was no closed session this evening, so there's no report. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And for the ceremonial items, first we have a proclamation recognizing the work of City Manager's Office.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm happy we're recognizing city departments at council meetings starting a few months ago. And tonight I'm pleased to recognize the City Manager's Office, or CMO as we call it, a team that works every day to support this organization and serve our community. CMO includes several key functions: communications, which is driving engagement and keeping our community informed; economic development, supporting businesses, strengthening our local economy; emergency management, ensuring we're prepared for the unexpected and ready to respond; city clerk, of course, hybrid meetings, publishing agendas, managing official records, PRAs, enough said; administrative support, so tracking legislation, updating city work program dashboard, as you saw yesterday, and supporting the policy work. And also the receptionist for City Hall, welcoming, this is the welcoming face of City Hall, handling questions, directions, and the occasional surprising request with professionalism and grace. CMO is at the center of the action, coordinating citywide operations, providing leadership to all departments, and working closely with council to implement your priorities. And it's a role that requires constant communication, collaboration, and on some days, very good sense of humor. So to our staff here today, thank you for your steadfast support and for managing complex workloads, fast-moving issues, and tight timelines. This is a spirit that you bring that makes even the busiest days most rewarding. At this time, I'd like to invite the team forward for a photo, and council members, please join me in recognizing the City Manager's Office.
Yeah, thank you. I think the City Manager's Office is the little engine that could do everything that drive the city. Thank you so much, and thanks the city manager for the initiative of recognizing every city department in one of the meetings. Thank you.
Have you come up?
More? You want staff on that side?
Yeah, let's get everybody like in a line up here. There you go.
So we wanted him to receive.
So staff squeeze in here, council members are on the outside.
Hang out with JR over here. There we go. Make sure no one's coming up here. Thank you.
Oh, it's there. Okay. So So next we have the proclamation recognizing Dr. Darrell Lum for his exemplary contributions to grassroots democracy and civic engagement. So we have a video that's kind of directed and produced by me, who have no experience, but with some volunteer students from the film and TV production department at the ANZA and a member of the Cupertino TV productions team. So thank you for all their help.
Would you like to play it now, Mayor? Okay. We will play the video now.
In the heart of Cupertino, long before Silicon Valley reshaped the landscape we know today, there was a man whose quiet dedication helped define the spirit of the city. Dr. Darrell Lum was more than a respected dentist. He was a neighbor, listener, and a steward of the community.
Darrell and Cheryl and our kids went to Monte Vista High School, so we met them. He was tall, lanky, very intelligent. And we got to be friends fairly quickly.
His dental office became a gathering place for conversation, collaboration, and grassroots democracy. To many, Darrell was simply their dentist, warm, welcoming, and precise. But his office wasn't strictly used for dentistry. It was a gathering place, a center where neighbors shaped the future of their city.
We were starting up a citizens organization called the Concerned Citizens of Cupertino, CCC. His office became our typical meeting place. After hours, he would open up his office and a number of the group would come in there, and also he was very active in knowing about what the city issues were, what the plans were.
Friends and fellow neighbors reminisced about Darrell's patience and hospitality.
Our discourse was much more civil in those days than today, and Darrell exemplified that. He would always be calm and present things. He always knew what he was talking about.
He's amazingly well informed when he speaks. He doesn't get angry, he stays calm. If there's a zoning issue or a height issue, he knows the rules, and when the city council would violate them, he would be the first to let them know about it.
He helped form Concerned Citizens of Cupertino, creating a platform where everyday residents could have a voice.
My name is Darrell Lum. I'm speaking for CCC.
One of these meetings, in fact, all the meetings, we would all be talking, giving our opinions, and it would get a little bit rowdy. And people were talking above each other. And Darrell, who was standing back kind of just as a facilitator, would smile, shake his head, he'd disappear, and he'd come back with his toothbrush, about this big. And he'd say, okay, you can't speak unless you've got the toothbrush.
You can submit a reconsideration. You can propose an initiative so that the citizens can propose a law. We also learned about the referendum process. If the council has already passed a project and if we would like to overturn the decision, you can collect 10% of the signatures so that it will be put on the ballot measure. Then the whole city gets to vote.
As one close colleague said, Darrell represented people who often go unrepresented. He knew cities must evolve, but never at the cost of the communities that make them home.
Darrell, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with me about Cupertino and for helping us Cupertino residents to guide the growth of Cupertino, the place we call home.
This is his legacy. This is the story of a man who spoke not just for himself, but for all of us.
Okay, thank you. So then let's take a photo with the proclamation. So, Cheryl, yeah, unfortunately, Dr. Darrell Lum, will be my last meeting as mayor. So I thought it's really important for me to recognize Darrell, who really taught me everything I know about city council. He taught me what's general plan, how do you revise it, what's the process. But he passed away early January last year. So I think it's important that I recognize the impact that he has made in Cupertino. And and I hope to take the time to read the proclamation. This is his wife, and he brought the toothbrush with me in the room. We have to have a toothbrush, you know. I can't stop talking. So, Dr. Darrell Lum, a longtime Cupertino resident and beloved local dentist, moved to Cupertino in mid-1970s and opened his dental practice on Pacific Drive near the City Hall, where he served generations of Cupertino families with kindness, professionalism, and integrity. Beyond his professional excellence, Dr. Lum devoted his life to civic engagement and grassroots democracy. As Cupertino experienced the rapid growth in the late 1990s and early 2000s, Dr. Lum became a leading voice for citizen participation in local government, working tirelessly to expand public notification, transparency, and community awareness of proposed developments and planned decisions. His dental office became an informal civic classroom where city plans and project maps adorned the walls and where countless residents, including future community leaders, first learned about the general plan, the planning commission process, and how to engage meaningfully in city decision-making. Dr. Lum was instrumental in fostering grassroots organizations, encouraging residents to study issues, attend public meetings, and advocate respectfully for policies that reflected the community's voice. Together with his wife, Cheryl, Dr. Lum worked persistently to place referendums and initiatives on the ballot, empowering Cupertino voters to directly shape the city's future. For more than 25 years, Dr. Lum's research, public testimony, and advocacy were categorized by depth, precision, and respect for different views. Though Dr. Lum passed away in early 2024, his legacy lives on in the vibrant civic spirit of Cupertino, in the generations of residents that he mentored, and in enduring principle that government functions best when citizens are informed and engaged. I, Mayor Liang Chao, and the Cupertino City Council do hereby recognize Dr. Darrell Lum for his exemplary contributions to Cupertino and declare him the champion of grassroots democracy and civic engagement, and encourage all residents to honor his remarkable life, his commitment to democracy at the grassroots level, and his lasting contributions to the civic fabric of Cupertino. I'd like to invite everyone who has known Darrell, has spoken to him, to come up to stage to honor him together, whether you agree with his view or not.
Yeah, going on here. I'm happy. You. Closer. No. You're right. Behind the mayor. You. Yeah. Your head just like hiding behind the mayor.
Jennifer, get in here. Come on, Jennifer.
There we go. Leave it. Cool. Thank you.
Boy, we have to have a toothbrush.
You have to have the toothbrush. You have to have
No, you guys need to use it. Oh.
For taking. Oh. I want to thank all of you for thinking highly of him. On behalf of Daryl, I accept this proclamation. Thank you all so very much.
Okay. Okay, before we move on, I have a short statement about this process. There was some concern raised about the proclamation because it used the words, it mentioned the words initiative and referendum in the process of honoring Dr. Darrell Lum. Both, in case you don't know what they are, both are tools of direct democracy. They allow voters to place questions on the ballot and help ensure that the city council remains accountable to the people we serve. A referendum allows the voters to challenge or overturn a specific council decision on a project, while an initiative allows the voters to propose a new law or policy that may affect many projects in the future. If we intentionally omit either initiative or referendum from this proclamation, I feel strongly that it can create the impression that the council wishes to keep the voters from learning about the rights they have under the California Constitution, or that we attach a stigma to the members of the public who challenge council decisions. I don't believe that is the message we want to send. As a council member, I believe we should affirm, not discourage these rights. That is part of how we honor Dr. Lum's legacy of civic engagement and respect for the voice of the community. Thank you. Okay, so let's move on to the next item, which is a presentation from the Solving Fund on the Cupertino Puzzle Hunt month-long event.
Yes, I will.
Yeah.
I will run the slides for you.
I think we can. The vote. It's not very. Is the speaker on? Maybe you need to aim it to your mouth better.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, let me move it up a little bit. I'm Marcy Tivell, and I'm here first representing Solving Fun. We were asked to create a puzzle hunt with the City of Cupertino. We've been doing them with cities all around the country, and we're very excited to be here. Thank you so much. We were blown away by the kindness and compassion and enthusiasm from the Cupertino residents. For those of you that don't know what a puzzle hunt is, we make puzzles and then people in the community solve them. That's open to everybody, all ages, and they're meant to lead you to different locations around Cupertino. So for the community to work together, outdoors, off screens, solving puzzles and getting out there and seeing new places that they haven't seen. We were blown away by the feedback and the response that we got from the community. There were over 500 entries that completed the entire hunt. There were 8 puzzles and a final puzzle, and it was in honor of the 70th anniversary for Cupertino. The puzzles were all different types of puzzles, logic and wordplay, and each one led to a different place, and one of the amazing places in Cupertino. So we just want to thank you. It was amazing to work with the city. We'd love to do it again next year, and we hope that everyone enjoyed it.
Ready?
Yeah. This is just a little bit of background. You can go through them pretty quickly since I talked. Some of the feedback that we got, I'll just read some of our favorites, but it was very fun solving puzzles together as a family and discovering new places to enjoy in Cupertino. We look forward to the next challenge. Thank you. It was an excellent puzzle. Would love to do it again. Proud to be a Cupertino resident. The hunt was an amazing way to spend quality time with my family and connect with our community. It reminded us how much there is to discover right here in Cupertino. So these are just a few of the many, many feedbacks that we got from solvers. Go ahead. Again, this is just what a puzzle hunt is. Solving puzzles, each one takes you to a different location. Go ahead. We want to thank our supporters, the Mayor's Initiative, the Library Foundation, super supportive, Cupertino Unified Schools, Fremont Union, De Anza College, and Code Ninjas Cupertino. Bringing communities together, visiting new landmarks, outdoors, again, off screens, and really we're proud that it's open to everyone of all ages. Go ahead. This is just a little brief overview. You can skip this one. And some sample puzzles, again, logic, wordplay, visual, all different types to get people involved in different strengths. Some of the advertising locations, go ahead. And some of the fun data. So over 5,000 visits to the Cupertino page, 2,200 visits to the Cupertino puzzles page, and almost 1,000 people registered for information about the hunt. Visitors came from all over the Bay Area, and there were over 500 final answers. And then just some photos from the event. We had an event at the library, which was amazing. Solvers could come and solve puzzles together. Sudoku's our mascot and was there to greet people. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing this. I think I heard about Palo Alto Puzzle Hunt like two, 3 years ago.
Yes.
And I've been thinking about how we might do it in Cupertino because I used to love puzzles when I was young and loved doing puzzle with my kids. So thank you for bringing it to the Cupertino community.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we're on our 5th year with Palo Alto and hope to create many more for Cupertino as well. So thank you for bringing it here.
Thank you. Okay, so next we have postponements and orders of the day. And we are postponing the film production item. What number is that?
Item 5, Mayor.
Item 5, okay. We are postponing the second reading and enactment of attachments for the film production permit. The original intent was that this would only affect the use of public property or public street. However, the language needs to be clarified. So we are postponing this to take another look at the language. Next, we have oral communications.
Did you want to take a vote, Mayor?
Oh, right. And need to...
You need a second?
Yeah, thank you.
More second.
Councilmember Fruin?
Aye.
Councilmember Mohan?
Aye.
Councilmember Wong?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Moore?
Aye.
Mayor Chow?
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Could you introduce the oral communication?
Yes, Mayor. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wishing to address the council on any matter within the jurisdiction of the council and not on the agenda for discussion. The total time for oral communications will ordinarily be limited to 1 hour. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes. As necessary, the chair may further limit the time allowed to individual speakers or reschedule remaining comments to the end of the meeting on a first-come, first-heard basis with priority given to students. In most cases, state law will prohibit the council from discussing or making any decisions with respect to a matter not listed on the agenda. A council member may, however, briefly respond to statements made or questions posed by speakers. A council member may also ask a question for clarification, provide a reference for factual information, request staff to report back concerning a matter, or request that an item be added to a future city council agenda in response to a public comment. Anyone wishing to provide comments under this section, please submit your requests in the next 9 minutes. Mayor, I have approximately approximately 6-7 requests to speak, which would take us to about 21 minutes. We did receive a request to speak under the proclamation for Darrell Lum. Council does not generally allow comments under ceremonial matters, so if you would like to speak on this item, I will call on you. Okay, so first we have Michael Chang, followed by Susan Bloomfeld, followed by no name, but regarding traffic on Morro Bay Drive and Pickleball Court. Welcome, Michael.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council members. I'm here today because I'm a homeowner. I currently reside and live at Arroyo Village near the Westport Senior Complex at the corner of Stevens Creek and Mary Avenue. Adjacent to my home is a community laneway named Morro Bay Terrace, which runs between Mary Avenue and Stevens Creek Boulevard. And this laneway is under the control of the developer Westport, under the control of the developer for Westport Related California. The current problem with this laneway is that it's being used as a shortcut for many, many vehicles coming down Mary Avenue and by numerous residents at Glenbrook Apartments directly across from our community. And so they basically are using this laneway to cut across from Mary Avenue directly onto Stevens Creek Boulevard. Earlier this year, due to persistent speeding by those utilizing this laneway, Related California installed 2 staggered sets of speed bumps spanning the entire width of this laneway. In particular, one set of these speed bumps is approximately 20 feet away from my home, and for both myself and my neighbors, this has caused a tremendous noise impact throughout the day and especially at night from vehicles that continue to speed and cut through this laneway. In mid-September, the city of Cupertino additionally erected street signage at the entrance to Morro Bay from Mary Avenue, prohibiting direct throughway of traffic, but this has really accomplished nothing. Specifically, the noise, traffic, and all the speeding remain unabated, and this laneway continues to have no posted speed limits, no stop signs, and no lane divider markings, to name a few. To date, Related California has failed to even acknowledge our noise issue and formally refused to do anything unless further directed to do so by the city of Cupertino. And so here I am today before you. I would like to ask the City Council for your assistance to help to mitigate this current noise, traffic, and safety issue within our neighborhood. Please let me know if you have any questions, and thank you very much for your consideration.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Michael. Next, we have Susan Bloomfield, followed by a resident that did not leave their name, but regarding Morro Bay Drive and vaping on Pickleball Court. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and staff. My name is Susan Bloomfield, and I have been a Cupertino resident and homeowner for over 35 years. My husband and I have been playing pickleball for several years now and love our diverse pickleball community at Memorial Park. As you know, several of us have sent emails to you lately regarding sound barriers for the courts. I won't reiterate all that was in the emails, but I want to reemphasize the main point, which is that we are very much in favor of sound barriers for the courts. We all support this idea wholeheartedly and want to encourage this. We do want to maintain good relationships with neighbors, and we know there have been issues that we very much want to mitigate. I just played today at Mackenzie Park in Los Altos, where they do have sound barriers, and I can say that it does help that situation. And that is the most important point we want to make. Secondly, many of our players are Cupertino residents, and even those who aren't spend money in our city. I have run into them while shopping at Target, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, and while eating at our restaurants. So all of us are contributing to the city and its economy, whether we live in the city or not. We all enjoy it very much, and we would like to continue to do so. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan. And we do have a request from a speaker regarding traffic on Morro Bay Drive and vaping on pickleball court. Yes, hello.
That's me. Good evening, everybody. My name is Arif. I'm here to talk about two issues. Number one is around the traffic that my neighbor Michael talked about. His issue, our issue is specifically around the noise that comes out of the traffic that speeds through the speed bumps. So that's one, but more importantly, there is ongoing traffic, especially during the early mornings and the late evenings. We have kids that use that lane to go to the park, and I'm concerned about their safety. So I've put in a request in the 311 app, and I've been told that if that there will be some patrolling done, but I have not seen it yet. So I request your assistance in this regard. My second issue is around the vaping on pickleball courts. It's not just around the seating area. There are people actually playing pickleball and vaping. So this is a serious concern. I have family members with asthma, and we use pickleball a lot. We go there a lot, and I've put in a request again in the 311 app. We have called the enforcement agency. The enforcement agency, I don't remember the name, but there's a department that enforces, and they have said they've redirected us to another department saying that we need to put a sign on the pickleball court. So we have been kind of shut. We have been sent back and forth between these two departments. So again, I would like your assistance in this regard. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Arif. Next, we have Brooke Ezett, followed by Ned Britt, followed by Peggy Griffin. Welcome, Brooke. And Ned, you had requested to speak on Darrell Lum's proclamation, if you're still here. Welcome, Brooke.
Thank you. Good evening. I have just 3 points to make. First of all, I wanted to compliment the mayor on the job she's done as mayor. I can remember the first time you spoke in front of city council, and I just think you've done a fantastic job. Secondly, I wanted to thank the city for acknowledging Darrell Lum. He was a wonderful human being. He was kind and generous and low-key, and I don't think people realize the influence he had, because he was always quiet and in the background and always stood in the back in the city council meetings. And finally, there's one issue that I want to address, and I want to address it to Councilman Fruin. I was really taken aback by your interactions with the mayor, and I was taken aback by your comment to another council member about pearl clutching. I think you're a very bright man, and I think I expect better from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke. And next we have Ned Britt, followed by Peggy Griffin, followed by Rhoda Fry. And I believe Ned Britt has left the meeting, so Peggy Griffin, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Chow, council members, staff. I want to reiterate what Brooke said, and I also want to thank Mayor Chow for her wonderful service this year as mayor. I've attended quite a few of the mayor chats, and it's more attended each time. The participation is better. You're including people, and the way you've added the presentations and encouraged involvement from all walks of Cupertino. I want to thank you. A job well done, and we all have benefited from it. Thank you.
Thank you, Peggy. Next, we have Rhoda Fry, and then we will move to those members of the public requesting to speak virtually. Welcome, Rhoda.
Hi. Good evening. Mayor Chow, it has been just wonderful having you as mayor, and it wasn't really until this year that I learned how really very warm and fuzzy you are. And all these years that you've been on the dais, and I didn't, we got to see you in all your glory, and it's been a wonderful year. So I want to thank you for that. And also for recognizing Daryl Lum. I did not know the toothbrush story, but I had talked with Daryl many times, and he was always quiet, standing in the back, arms crossed, and he listened to everything, and I asked him some questions. He was always so knowledgeable, and you could tell he had this great quality of leadership, was able to lead from behind. It also seems like tonight, I'm going to continue on Ms. Azat's commentary regarding Mr. Fruin. There was a meeting quite a bit ago. Oh, yeah, it was October, not this past October, but probably the October before, where there was talk about pearl clutching, which was mentioned this evening. And I happened to be visiting my mom in New York. My mom and my sister and I were watching, yes, Cupertino Council. I actually called in and commented. And I was just stunned. It's just so inappropriate. And I know that for some folks for whom English is not their first language, it's not a known comment, but please look it up. The other thing is that you'll find in my public comment this evening is my concern with a potential for conflict of interest, because Mr. Fruin has been serving in his job capacity for the city of San Jose as a chief of staff or a council member. And so he's involved in projects that impact both Cupertino and San Jose, but in his day job, he has San Jose as his primary interest, and so I would ask that this body consider that he not vote on issues that are involve interagencies, because we need to keep. Our primary interest needs to be Cupertino. And what a great year, Mayor Chow. So I want to thank you. You've kept it all above board. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rhoda. We have two members of the public requesting to speak virtually, San Rao and call-in user 1. Welcome, San.
Good evening, Mayor Chow, Vice Mayor Moore, council members. I was hoping that I might take this opportunity to be the first to speak to recognize what a year it's been. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the room, and I guess Peggy and Brooke and Rhoda beat me to it. But nonetheless, having raised my hand, I do want to express when the year started, we thought it was a year like any other. We've seen several mayors come and go, and we hoped that we'd get a few things back. We hoped that we'd get our hybrid meetings back. We hoped that we'd get the mayor's monthly meets going, and we hoped that we might see a more civil decorum on dais. Little did we know at the end of the year that we'd be touring east and west, all of the restaurants and coffee shops across Cupertino, that we'd be seeing a plethora of events that most of us don't tend to enjoy, appreciate, or even venture into, that we'd see a number of events that Cupertino has never seen before, all put together by the mayor's initiative, and the mayor pulling together a diverse group of people in many different hobbies and passions that probably never got their chance to express themselves as they did this time. We learned about organizations that, frankly, many of us have never heard of. Organizations like the Odd Fellows, that as a newer resident of Cupertino, I had never heard of. And we saw a more humane side of Mayor Chow that is really hard to replicate amongst council members, because most council members are really driven, they're focused, they're passionate about the community, but they're not necessarily seeing the same sort of social side of bringing people together in the way that Mayor Chow did. In fact, in many of her events, we'd actually shy away from being in the forefront because she'd be out there breaking a dance at her line dance or other events, including Indian events that I had the pleasure of taking Mayor Chow to. And so it's been a fantastic year. I fully expect we will see a diverse and different year, and that's how it should be. When the guard changes, we see a new mayor, we see a new flavor, and that's how it should be. And that's a reminder that council is not permanent, mayors are not permanent, and let's celebrate the year that was. Thank you.
Thank you, San. And next we have call-in user 1. Welcome.
Yeah. Hello, council members and residents and guests. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So the first, I was in person mentioning about mission of the city is the transparency. I was talking about the direct communication between the residents and the city executive team and the council member. And this in person, this haven't happened, so I still want you guys consider. And the second thing I mentioned is it's about the. I want to feed a little background to it. Some people might know, and we are in a family long-term residence in the city. It's kind of the economic and social the bottom edge of it, and we try the best to hold on it. And the part of the roof actually need every few months to patch it. Years ago, we were misled by the real estate agent, which led the major loss of and a hardship. Despite this, we take a full responsibility and follow the proper path through the city departments, and also use the licensed people to carry out, approve the plan for the second time. Unfortunately, a complaint from the first build-up and made by somebody has already left the position, led to the retaliation to the second one, and because of lack of communication and those years, actually still some are kept by the city right now. And I mentioned it before, direct communication, and causing even more confusion. And we try to stand up, but over time, everything lost, and we feel like it was. It feels like a persecution, and the city actually doesn't stop there. The pain doesn't stop there, and we were falsely labored, and our rights stripped away, and a lot of it's not even related to the original matter, and this has been follow us every corner of life and for several years now, and it has reached a point so tragic that. It's like a criminal and a thief get empowered, and because the court accepted years ago the city narrative, the damages from this those true labors and led to the mental emotional decline, and we have family member and also immobile, and then lack of communication over the years, which actually long past the stage of those forced labor. We were not able to schedule any meetings, and we were being forced to pay unnecessary legal fee, and also the matters completely.
Thank you. That is your time. Mayor, no additional requests to speak on this item?
Okay, thank Thank you. Just want to remind everyone, we usually discourage people from clapping because we don't want the speaker to be affected because of approval or disapproval. But usually signs are allowed as long as you don't block other people's views. So the signs are fine right now. But a reminder, if you want the video camera to see, you should be sitting down on this side of the chairs. Yeah, just hold the sign in front of you. And so I think we can ask some questions. Do we have any update about the speeding issue on the Merrill Bay Terrace? I don't remember the name of the.
Yes,
Sure.
Mayor, my understanding is that there was a meeting that was scheduled. City staff facilitated a meeting in August of 2025 with the developers and operators. And it seemed like it was a productive meeting, and the entities appear to have agreed on a plan to install alternative traffic calming devices like a private driveway or speed bump. So I need to follow up on where that conversation is.
Thank you. Yeah, it seems the speed bump doesn't work, so they should meet again. And then the second issue is the pickleball sound barrier. Any update on that?
Mayor, the only update I have is, I think I may not have officially set this on record, but our city engineers looked at the option of putting sound attenuation material on the fence, and it was not structurally sound enough to do so. There is a cost involved if we want to put up a wall, so to speak. So this is something that if council has an interest in exploring, I'll have to bring that forward to council to either approve or explore other options. So this was something we could put on TBD and have a conversation if there's interest.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need that. And then vaping at the pickleball court, this is the first time I've heard about it. And yeah, if you don't have any information, you can get back to us later.
I have a little bit of information. We were able to look at the 311 tickets. So we were able to refer some of that information to the sheriff's office. Our code enforcement requires that there's an activity that we can see in action happening. So, but staff is aware, and we've also involved the sheriff's office in that conversation. So we can follow up.
Thank you. I think the public member also mentioned potentially a sign. I don't know if that will be helpful or not. Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else has any short comment? Vice Mayor?
Yeah, quick question. Are our no smoking signs also no vaping?
I would think so, but I'll have to confirm if there's a separate vaping signage needed.
Okay.
I know for our parks, there's definitely no smoking signs.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great because it can contain nicotine as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think legally no smoking sign applies to vaping. But whether it's clear on the sign for the people who don't know, yeah, it's unclear. Okay. Okay. Next we go to consent items. 4 to 9. Do we have any items pulled? So no consent, then may we have a motion?
Don't forget that number 5 was postponed.
Number 5? Oh, right. Number 5 was postponed. Thank you for the reminder.
Mayor,
oh, right, public comment. So item 4.
I wanted to make a quick comment on number 9. I didn't want it to be pulled off consent, but I was hoping that we could get some clarification on the process for including new friendship cities. Just looking at this, and nothing needs to be done now, but I am hoping, because we already have 4 friendship cities right now and 2 from the People's Republic of China, and those 2 expire in 2027. So and you're adding 2 more. So just wanted to get a clarification on what the process is, and you can do it later if you want. It doesn't have to be now. But maybe when we talk about sister cities.
You want information after the meeting on the process?
Sure, or when we discuss the sister city, it is on the TBD list. So if we could include this as well.
I think there was a question from the public about Friendship City is not a government-to-government relationships. It's just something that we do to support community organization who would like to pursue some cultural business relationship. And so for us, the principle is it doesn't take any city resource, monetary or staff, to support this organization, but then it's a gesture that we support their activity.
I think there's there probably is some staff impact. In fact, I think the staff report says that you have to give gifts and you have to take them on tours and so on. So there is a small.
Whether they have Friendship City or not, we would incur that cost. If we have international delegation from a city we don't have any relationship of, we do that anyway. So we don't do anything extra for Friendship Cities.
That is correct. We do support international delegations as well. There's a section in the city sister and Friendship City policy, but Friendship Cities do not get any direct financial benefits from the city or any facility room waivers, but there is a little bit of a staff support involved in that, and we can go over that when we bring the policy back.
Yeah, okay. So let's go to public comment on 4 to 9 except 5.
Mayor, I currently see no request to speak on any items on the consent calendar.
Okay. And then may we have a motion?
Mayor, I move consent items, I have this listed, 4 and 6 through 9.
Second?
I'd like to second.
Yeah. Okay, so let's vote.
Councilmember Fruin?
Aye.
Councilmember Mohan?
Aye.
Councilmember Wong?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Moore?
Aye.
Mayor Chow?
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously.
Okay, thank you. So we go to item 10, amendment to fiscal year 2025 and 26 fee schedule to establish a new fee for film permit application and film production. So, city manager, city attorney.
Yeah, I'll quickly introduce it and then I'll turn it over to Floyd. So we have developed a fee schedule for the film permit. And I just want to clarify that these fees for film permits will apply once the film ordinance goes into effect. So we're just, we're doing a public hearing for the fees, and as you postpone the ordinance item when we bring it back, and after the 30-day time frame when that goes into effect, that's when these fees will be applicable. And with that, I will turn it over to Floyd to walk us through. Thanks.
Thank you, City Manager. City Clerk, could you put the one slide up for us, which is the suggested fees, the fee schedule that we've come up with to work along with the film ordinance. In preparing these fees, because it's a new ordinance and we haven't imposed fees like this before, we don't have any experience of our own with what it will cost us to implement the film ordinance. And so what we've done in preparing this initial fee schedule is looked at what other cities in our region and other cities with similar demographics to Cupertino and what they charge for their film permit fees. And that's where this fee schedule came from. Other cities in our region, for instance, Santa Clara, they just charge their staff's hourly time. which is, it's a bit of an effort to keep track of the time, et cetera. It's much easier to have a fee schedule. The city of Saratoga has just a single application fee for the permit of $388. Other cities have enacted greater fees and additional fees to the permit fee because they've experienced that it costs the city much more than just processing an application. Ultimately, the staff has determined that part of the fee schedule from the city of San Francisco is appropriate for the city of Cupertino, and part of the fee schedule for the city of Rancho Palos Verdes is appropriate for Cupertino's fee schedule. And so we have created a combination of parts of those two fee schedules to come up with the fee schedule that we are proposing tonight. It basically entails a permit application fee to cover the staff's cost of processing the application, and then it imposes a daily impact fee for any kind of filming that will take place over a period of days. There'll be a daily fee as well as the application fee. The process of instigating a film ordinance and associated fees also is somewhat beneficial to those commercial entities looking to film in the city because it allows them an efficient process for interfacing with the city so that they can move forward and understand exactly what the rules are and make sure that the city is there to support them and the mechanism for engaging peace officer services if need be, et cetera. And so all in all, we think it's a good ordinance, although we'll be making some revisions, and we think the fee schedule is supportable.
Thank you. So the reason that we are not postponing the fee schedule is because we are legally required to notice the public hearing for this item.
Correct.
If we postpone, we have to re-notice, right?
Exactly.
And if we adopt today, it won't be in effect until we actually adopt the ordinance.
Until final adoption of the ordinance. Exactly.
Okay.
Apologies, I am just sharing my screen now.
Oh.
Thank you.
Okay. So, any question from council members?
Yeah, I had one question.
Yeah.
A question to you, Madam City Attorney. In these permit fees, is there a fee for using the name Cupertino?
We looked into that, and unfortunately, the name Cupertino has been in the public domain for so many years that it's actually not owned by the city, and so we can't charge a fee for the use of the name.
Yeah, I wondered about that too. Did we trademark it?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Okay. Then public comment?
Yes, Mayor, I currently have no request to speak for this item.
Okay, then Councilmember Wang?
Just motion to approve.
More second.
No more comments, let's vote.
Councilmember Fruin?
Aye.
Councilmember Mohan?
Aye.
Councilmember Wong?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Moore?
Aye.
Mayor Chow?
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. Next item, item 11, Open Golf Budget Format Review Presentation and Final Recommendations. So this was pulled from consent from last meeting, right? And so I'm not sure, do we have a presentation?
I will introduce Admin Services staff, Director Christina Alfaro and Acting Budget Manager Tony Oese Anderson, to lead us into this conversation.
Good evening. Tony O.S.A. Anderson, our acting budget manager, will have a brief comment, and then we'll show a short video showcasing some of the budget format changes we're recommending for your consideration this evening.
Thank you, Director Alfaro. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. This item is part of the budget document and performance measures report and implementation action plan that was approved by Audit Committee and City Council in April and May of this year. As a reminder, the goal of this report and implementation action plan was to enhance clarity and accessibility, and to strategically align the city's annual budget document, and to improve the effectiveness of performance measures in tracking progress toward citywide goals. With council approval of this item tonight, staff will implement the budget format items as listed in the budget document report, IEP, and staff anticipate publishing the fiscal year 25-26 adopted budget and opening of stories in the first half of 2026. Council's approval of tonight's recommendation marks the first step in addressing the outlines provided in attachment B and additional updates to come as the work progresses. Now we will show you a 2-minute video that gives a preview of the recommended budget format changes utilizing OpenGov. So if please, video team, if we can play the video now. Thank you.
Hi everyone, so today we're going to be showing you some ways to navigate through both the budget PDF and the OpenGov publication of the budget. So first of all, when you open the adopted budget PDF, it brings you to this table of contents, which tells you all the pages and what page numbers they are on of this PDF. But also, if you click on the side here, it can expand to this menu that if you click on it, it'll bring you to different pages of the PDF. So for our example today, we're going to go to Council and Commissions, and let's just say I want to see the department overview. So this is how you get here on the PDF, but on the publication, our table of contents page looks like this, and again, it also is linked to every single page that we have
If I
here
may
in this
interrupt,
publication.
the video
which
is not playing properly. If you give us one moment, we'll try to address this. The video, it seems to be frozen on one screen, and it should be moving and showing the updates. Thank you for your patience.
I think we can take a 5 minutes break because the meeting started at 6, so maybe we come back at 8. Yeah. Okay. Good idea.